Boys, we've just taken the top agency owners in our coaching community who run an OnlyFans management agency. I brought them to one room and we just discovered everything from client acquisition to marketing to chatting to scale. If you want to watch this video, I'm going to play it anyway. Enjoy. So let's go over client acquisition. First things first, right? There's going to be a fair amount to cover here. So let's just jump straight into it. And then after this one, we'll take a break. We'll go grab an energy drink or whatever after this and we'll come back, right? So this is going to be about an hour or so. Also, again, if you boys have a question, don't be afraid to just say it. Like, just be like, hey, by the way, what about this, right? So first things first, understanding the client acquisition process. So what do I mean by that? So there are different stages within outreach that you must understand. Now, most people think that when you're sending the first message, you're trying to sell your agency. You're trying to make sure that the girl knows everything about you and she's going to sign up, right? That's the wrong way to think about it. Think of it like a conveyor belt, right? So at the far left side, to you guys right side, the far right side, they don't know who you are, complete cold lead, all the way to the far left side, to you guys, she's signed up, right? And for most of you guys, what you guys make a mistake on is you try and get them like from this side, like straight away to sign up with you, right? You don't want to do that. You need to think of it in stages. So what do I mean by client acquisition process? The process is that the first message, the only goal you should have with the first message is just for them to read it and respond. That's all. So especially now, I think it was about 2 months ago, Instagram made an update where you can't, if they don't follow you or if they don't like accept your message, you can't keep messaging them. You can just send one message and they have to accept it, yeah? So the first message, the first line specifically, and I'll cover that more about the first message, by the way. I'll talk more about that in depth there. But the first line should just pique their curiosity, yeah? The first line has to, and by the way, when I say first line, you know when you guys open up your DMs in the requested, you can only read like the first 4 or 5 words, right? That's what I mean by the first line. So it has to say something that they go, all right, let me click into it. And what are again, I'll cover this in more detail, this part, but things that make you do that is something tailored to you, make you a bit curious or a bit out there, it's a bit different. Or like you want to accept something or you want to receive something. These are the things that will make you go, all right, what the fuck is this? You're going to click into it. Then the 2 lines down has to say something to get them to just accept and reply. It can be like a dot or it can be yes. It can be one word. Doesn't matter. You just have to get out of the requested folder and get into their DMs. And again, I'll cover that in more detail here on exactly what the message will say, etc. Right? But that's the process. So the first part is just getting them to see it and respond. Then in the DMs, you're not selling your service. You're not selling your agency. You're not selling why you're good at marketing. You're not selling why you're good at chatting. You're not selling none of that. In the DMs, you're just selling the call. Like how and why they need to jump on that call. Make sense? Yeah? Then, once they say, okay, yeah, sure, I'm down for a call, that's when you jump on a call. Like, you need to try and get on a call with them ASAP. Yeah? So don't try and be like, okay, here's my Calendly, book a call. Like, boys, this is not SMA. Like, this is not, you're not dealing with like 40-year-old business owners, right? These are girls who don't even know what the fuck they're doing like in the next 5 minutes. They have no idea, right? So if you send them a Calendly link, and fair enough, like some of them will actually book it, the chances of them actually showing up is like fucking 0 basically, right? Now, at scale, obviously at scale, you do need to book people in because you're busy or your appointment setter is busy or your sales rep is busy, right? But like that's at scale. Right now, for most of you guys, it's just you're talking, she responds instantly, okay, cool, I'm free right now. Can I just give you a quick call? And you can just do it on the Instagram call. In an ideal world, Zoom, yes. In an ideal world, it's Zoom. But if she can't, then you can quickly do an Instagram call. You can do a WhatsApp, you can do a phone call. In an ideal world, you want a FaceTime or like a Zoom call where you can see each other. In an ideal world. And the reason why I say in an ideal world is because in most cases, she's either out and about or she's doing something, right? And you can't afford to like leave it. By the way, could you give my phone to this guy so you can like take some clips and stuff? So yeah, you can't afford to leave it for like 3-4 hours, right? So ideally, you want to try and get them on a call there and then. Any questions so far, by the way? Makes sense, right? Cool. Now, like I said, in an ideal world, you want to be like, hey, by the way, we can do it on a Zoom call, etc., etc. She says, yes, cool, then that's ideal, that's perfect. You send them a Zoom link. In most cases, she's like, I don't have Zoom. She has to download it, then she has to click on a link, etc. So yeah, in an ideal world, Zoom. If not, quickly jump on a call with her, no problem. And if you can close them on one call. In most cases, especially how we do it, if it is just a quick phone call, then it's kind of like a triage call, if anybody knows what that means, right? Triage is where like you do the first call to kind of pre-qualify, speak to them a little bit, and then you actually book in the real call where you're going to share your screen, etc. You can do it that way if she actually has the time and if she's serious. If she is fairly new to OF, you can definitely close it in one call. So like there's no right or wrong, right? But you have a question? Oh, okay. But the first lesson that I'm trying to make here, boys, is urgency, right? When I say urgency as well, don't obviously come across like you're needy. Don't be like right now. Just like, oh, by the way, you can literally make this shit up. Be like, oh, by the way, actually, my next call just cancelled, so I'm free right now. Even if you didn't have a next call, just be like, oh, by the way, an hour just opened up right now. I'm free right now. I can give you a call. And that's the first lesson here, is about the process. So please understand, the first point of contact is not to sell your agency, your chatting, your marketing, your VAs that are from the UK, or none of this stuff. Your first point is just to get them to respond and reply to your message. Then is to sell them on why they need to jump on a call, which again, I'll go over later on in the script. And then it's to just quickly jump on a call with them as soon as possible, and then you're going to try and close them on that call. All right, cool. Now, which accounts to reach out from, okay? So how many of you guys put your hand up if you have like an agency account, like an Instagram account, yeah? Pretty much all of you. Okay, cool. That's fine. You can have that. It's good, actually. It's a net positive, of course. And you can do outreach from them, but it's almost pointless. Like you can, but you might as well just not bother, right? If you're going to spend the same, like you can do it if you have a VA, aka it's not you doing it, right? By far, the best response rate is going to be from another model account or a theme page. When I say a theme page, it's like, have you ever seen these pages where like it's 1 million followers and they're sharing loads of other OnlyFans girls? You guys all seen it? Babe pages, yeah, right? If you can get access to one of these, you're golden, yeah? So ideally, you're sending messages from other girls on OF account, on her Instagram account, or these theme pages. I would say the third best, or like second best, would be other like guys who are like big influencers. So maybe like a famous rapper, etc. The reason why I say second best because they're very hard to like agree on, because most of these guys are like, I can't be bothered. Like, I'm not going to let you like, have access to this account. Whereas a girl's account, if it's one of your models, then you can just position it as, oh, by the way, can I log into your Instagram to organize shout-outs for you? And most of them will say, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I did this early in my agency, and I signed into one of my models' accounts on Instagram and DM'd a bunch of girls trying to sign into my agency. And what happened is they signed her to their agency that they're at. So what is...
Sorry, say that again. So they're not a uni or reverse card.
That makes sense. So I outreached to loads of girls asking for shout-outs. And then when I signed up the account that she went back in, she just got chatting with the girls and they were convincing her to go to their agency. And then she left.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay.
Early in my agency, yeah. So how do you stop that if that's the case, you know?
Okay, so first of all, like physically, there's nothing you can do other than just like tell your girl to be like, oh, by the way, if they ever ask you about, their agency, just say you're not interested. I mean, like that's the only thing you can physically do. But I can probably imagine, you just said it there, it was early in your agency. So you probably weren't doing the best like service, you probably weren't doing the best like marketing, chatting, response rate, etc. So she probably wasn't overall happy with your service. So the smallest nudge to like go into a different agency, she's like, all right, cool.
Do you know what? She was messaged by a lot of big influencers as well. That was mainly part of it. Because obviously I was a small agency, but then she had like that HS guy in the DMs, and that other guy who does that thing on TikTok that goes, you probably know him, what's his name? That Shadrach guy, he was in the DMs. And then signed her to their agency, so that's probably another problem, that she had influencers in the DMs.
So the short answer on how do you avoid this and fix this is by just providing such a great service that she doesn't even think twice. You know what's very, very interesting, by the way, as well, boys? And this again goes for any business in general, period, right? I'm actually curious, right? You guys going to raise your hand. What do you guys think is more important? An environment, like overall on averages. Obviously there's going to be some outliers, but overall on averages. Do you guys think the service delivery is more important? So AKA like making sure that, everything is on point and the service delivery is great? Or making sure that the environment that she's in, like she's genuinely enjoying working with you. She actually likes you as a friend. She has a great environment. She has great fun. So if you think service delivery is more important, put your hand up. Makes sense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 4. So most of you guys think the fun. It's so true. Fun is genuinely more important. Overall, obviously there's outliers, like, one second, bro. The outlier would be like, if a girl's been doing it for like 4 years, like OnlyFans, right? And she's constantly been fucked over by other agencies. She only cares about good service, right? Now that's like an outlier. But in overall, genuinely, in most cases, if they really enjoy working with you, they like you as a person, as a friend, and they have banter, you're always there for them, etc. And even if your service is a little bit shit, obviously, again, granted, if it's really shit, she's gonna leave, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is genuinely, that is more important. The same as all of you boys, like an analogy is like if we're all starting going to a gym, right? And one gym, you go in there, the reception, like they have a good laugh with you. But the machines are a bit shit, right? But other than that, like it's actually a great environment, et cetera, et cetera. And the other gym is the opposite, right? The machines are spot on, but like it's just shit environment. You don't even want to go there. It's gloomy, et cetera. You'd still carry on going to the one that technically is a shitter service, but you have a greater time there, right? So yeah, again, another thing is making sure that your clients genuinely have the best time. And we'll come to that when we talk about systems, which is going to be retention. Which is as well for one of you boys. No, think for yourself. Retention. Yeah, making sure. Yeah. I love this guy. Yeah, go ahead, bro. What was yours?
So surely it's good to have a balance.
Of course. Oh, of course. Obviously, you don't want to neglect making sure that your service is good. But I'm just saying, overall, genuinely, people overall appreciate a great experience more than the service, right? Overall. Because again, if you just think logically, right? If you mess up, or you do something wrong, or you don't do something, or it takes you a bit longer than what you said it would, if she's like genuinely likes you as a person and you guys have banter, she'll be like, all right, whatever. Like obviously, but then there's so many times you can only do that, right? Whereas if she doesn't know, like, or trust you in the first place and you fuck up, she's like, right, I'm done. You know what I mean? Okay, which accounts to reach out from? So we went on a bit of a tangent there. So cool, yeah. So theme pages, other girls' pages, and then other guys' pages such as like rappers, influencers, etc. Go ahead.
Can you put a model's page? Would you like make a fake model?
To do outreach from? Like physically, yes, but like I wouldn't bother wasting your time with that. Yeah, physically, if like you really wanted to, we could. Scott, we tried that with the theme page, like botting the followers and the likes, etc. The only thing is you constantly have to keep buying more followers and likes, etc. And also, it's not going to have any comments. So a girl who has 2 brain cells put together, she'll be like, right, well, this is all fake. This is so weird.
Even the comments you can buy are just emojis.
Right.
So it looks fake.
Or if you click into the profile who's replying or who's putting a comment, you can tell it's a fake account. So overall, no, I wouldn't bother. Physically, you can, but there's no point.
It would take way too long to do that.
We had an agency page from previous things he'd done that had 270K followers. Would you keep that as an agency page, or would you try and turn that into a theme page?
For outreach, yeah?
Yeah.
You'd honestly better off, yeah, at least trying to turn it into a girl's page and then trying to do outreach that way. Yeah. It's not the ideal, but if you have it, again, be resourceful, right? Use what you have, yeah. Then the last one, which is for most of you guys, and it's not the worst one, because there's a lot more worse ones before that, or below that, is your own page, right? Your personal page. Now, within your personal pages, make sure that your profile picture isn't just like a black screen. Make sure that it's actually a picture of you. Ideally, if you can get it verified, the little blue tick, it's like $15 a month, but I promise you it does change, it does matter. I would not recommend buying like 100K fake followers. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it will just ruin your account forever. Right? Just don't do that. If you really wanted to, and if you had loads of money, you guys can pay Facebook to like promote your photos to like local area, so real people actually like it and they follow you, right? Don't even need to do that. If you really wanted to, you could do that. Next is the content. So for example, I definitely recommend you guys, whenever we take a break, take photos around here. It's fucking sick. Definitely like here, like this is about as much credibility that you guys need, that you guys are taking this serious, right? Like if a girl goes into your profile and she can see that you're going to in-person seminar, like events about OnlyFans, that means you guys are serious, right? You guys are committed. And then perhaps take like a fucking photo or two around like some supercar or something. It genuinely doesn't matter, but like it does help a tiny bit, right? Again, just think about overall, what would she rather see? Like a luxury lifestyle or just a normal lifestyle? Should at least a little bit like more the luxury lifestyle, right? Then the highlights, if you guys don't have them, please add them. So you should have a kind of about me. So just literally one little story, like a little video where you're talking about who you are, what is it that you do, why you're different. And the reason why this is important is because they're going to get to know you for like who you are, right? They get to hear you, they get to see you, and that already differentiates yourself from everybody else out there, right? For example, let's do it right now. Put your hand up if you have a highlight on whichever account you're doing outreach from, where it's like you talking into the camera and saying a bit about yourself. Like put your hand up. You got one, Enzo?
Yeah, mine's a bit different.
But you got like a, no, I know you do reels and stuff, right?
Yeah. About me's the video with you, so mine's a bit different.
Oh, cool, but that's still like a podcast setup. That's really good. So just Enzo, right? So, say again, bro?
Would it have to be about OFM?
The video?
You as a person.
So ideally, it should be about like, hey, my name is Tommy. I'm from the UK. We run one of the leading agencies on talent management. Look, if you want to learn more, just drop me a message. It can literally be something like that, right? But ideally, you do want to say what it is that you do. Yeah. And it doesn't have to say OnlyFans. You can, like I said, I just said talent management, right? But anyway, the point I just made there, look, just in this room alone, besides me, and even Jack, I don't think you have either, but you don't need to. Enzo is the only person who has a highlight where it's like showing his face and he's talking into the camera, right? All these tiny little things set you aside from everybody else. So the second or third lesson I want you guys to take away already from the seminar is whichever account you're reaching out from, you must, well, your personal one this is, you must try and do as many things as possible to set yourself aside from everybody else, right? So for example, Enzo, you are posting reels, like they're very good edited, you've got like the lights in the background, so it looks, again, that little bit more extra effort, right? And it's so good, right? So the highlights is a bit about yourself, definitely results if you have them. By the way, when it comes to results, this is an entire topic I could talk about for hours. Everything can be a result. Even a screenshot of a model signing the Panda doc, obviously as long as you blur her name out, you can take that as a screenshot and be like, another client signed to the agency. And every single one of these contracts, you take a screenshot, put it as a highlight, right? It's just that credibility. Next, if a girl messages you in WhatsApp or wherever, hey Enzo, I actually can't believe it, this week has been incredible. Even a message like that, screenshot, even like this. Obviously, like in an ideal world, like there's a spectrum, in an ideal world on this side, it's a real video of your client saying, hey, I just wanted to shoot a short little video for Enzo. The agency that I've been working with him has been absolutely incredible. I really highly recommend any model working with you guys, right? So like that's like the ideal, but you can take everything as a result and as a testimonial, right? Cool, makes sense so far? So the highlights is about you, about the results and testimonials, and to be honest, like just leave it at that. Yeah, just leave it at that. Those are the two main things. Cool. Any questions about which accounts to reach out from?
Yeah, I have one. So the main account that I'm reaching out from is my personal one, so that's got family members and stuff like that. Did you just, because if I talk about OnlyFans management, I think that my Andy would go a bit west about that. So would I start a new one, like, and create that as like my new personal account and an agency one, or just tie it in one together?
I'll just have your auntie unfollow you, mate. Yeah. Remove her as a follower. I genuinely,
Yeah,
like,
like 6 aunties.
nobody laugh. I actually did this.
Remove
when I
them from-
started, it sounds quite horrific, but I just removed my family members from my family.
Yeah.
You can hide your story from them as well.
Yeah.
So you could do it this way. But the thing about creating a new account is it's a bit long.
Yeah.
because then it's 0 followers and you've got to warm it up, etc. So in an ideal world, you can literally hide your story from however many people you want. So I do that.
So I'm not bothered about like anyone really seeing it. I'm sort of detached myself from like all my high school friends and stuff like that. So I'd only have to remove my family members. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So cool. In terms of which accounts to reach out from, pretty straightforward. Okay. Next one is how to identify the quote-unquote ideal client and where to find them. Okay, this one's going to be really short and sweet. There's only really like a couple of things that we look for that are like non-negotiables. Obviously 18 and over, that goes without saying. But the main thing that I'm looking for, and it's hard to put into words and like describe it, but it's like when you jump on a call with somebody, like a potential client, and like they are, I guess the word is enthusiasm, right? Jack, shut the fuck up. So yeah, so it's like enthusiasm, right? So when you jump on a call with them and literally they are like, yeah, I love doing videos. I'm down to do this. I'm down to do that. I'm down to do videos in public, as in like for Instagram, right? Like I'm down to do in-person interviews and I'm down to do podcasts. I'm down to do this. That's the only thing that we've really looked for. That's the main thing. It's just enthusiasm, right? Now, and then for example, think what's the opposite? The opposite is, I don't really like doing these little TikTok dances. I don't really want to show my face. I really want to hide like my OnlyFans in the local area, right? And all these things, right? If that's them, fine. But ideally, that's not like your ideal client, right? Again, if you're just starting out, you can take them on, sure. It's not going to be a deal breaker. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you stop like getting in touch with models that eventually want you as their therapist? Like I feel like every model I've had have been a therapist.
Yeah, I was about to say, genuinely, bro, like that just is the industry, like genuinely. That is most of the models. The best way is by just positioning yourself as like their manager, who's just there to help them with the content and the chatting, right? Like that's your main role. But like that just is the part of the industry, genuine. Like most girls they want help with all this stuff, right? But like trying not to lean into it too much, because otherwise if you're only talking about that, then it's a bit long, right? And also as well, the more money they make, all of a sudden they start not worrying about these things. So genuinely like that kind of all falls into place. But yeah, going back to the ideal client. So 18 plus obviously sounds very, very enthusiastic about creating content, etc. And then the rest of them, these ones are kind of bonuses, but they're not like mandatory, right? So, for example, she is from the UK or USA, ideal. She has at least an iPhone 11 Pro Max or above, ideal. She already has all the social medias, so Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Doesn't have to have like 100K followers, but at least she has these profiles already made, warmed up, and she's creating a bit of content, and they're not shadow banned, right? She's also been on OnlyFans for at least like 3-4 months, bare minimum. In an ideal world, like 6 to 12 months, right? And those are the only like ideals that we're looking for, right? Everything else falls into place after we're gonna cover the marketing, etc. That makes sense about the ideals? Yeah? Obviously the opposite, like red flags, is something that I mentioned already, where if she already on the interview, etc. is like, oh, I don't really wanna be doing this, I don't like doing that, I don't, etc., right? Again, if it's your first client, take them on, fine, whatever. But I'm just saying long term, in an ideal, you want to look for somebody who's just like, I'm ready to create content. So cool. Okay, fantastic. What's the first message and the setting script flow? So we kind of covered that already at the beginning, but the first message, ideally, should be fairly short and sweet. So the first line is just like their name. So Daniela, comma. For example, I mean, my phone's over there, but for example, the first line is something along the lines of Daniela, comma, then something specific about content that she's just recently created. So obviously it's just been Halloween. So you could talk about an outfit that she's just recently worn, or if it's like April, like a random time of the year and there isn't like an outfit, then she's probably still collaborated with somebody recently. She's done a podcast, or she's maybe recently hit 100,000 followers, right? Whatever it is, you want to say something personalized to them. Make sense?
So does personalized, so there's obviously giving free value as well, that's another method. Does personalized work better than giving free value?
So no, so there's two ways. I'll get to that, bro. I'll get to that. So that's the first line. And by the way, that first line is whether both of the options that I'm going to say, they both work the same. So first line is their first name. And by the way, it's obviously their stage name, but it still doesn't matter, right? Because whenever you say somebody's name, it's like the best word that they could ever hear. Like their first name, every human, like they're hearing their first name is the best thing. So yeah, and then 2 lines down, that's when you can have 2 different options. You can either, if you have good results, for example, yourself, bro, you can be like, we've just made $50,000, even if it's your inflow and your agency, it doesn't matter. You can be like, we just hit $50,000 last month. Can you just reply to this message so I can send you proof, right? And obviously, that will only work with girls who are around 10K a month mark. Because if a girl's already making 40, 50K a month, she'll be like, I don't really care, right? But again, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how much she's making. All we care about, oh, also one more thing about ideal client, I forgot, which is fucking the most important thing, that she has availability, right? In an ideal world, she's doing this full time. So the opposite is somebody who's at university, does webcam, and works at a shop part-time as well, and tries to do OF. Like, that's the worst case. The opposite is she does this full time, yeah? So yeah, in terms of the message, the first message, that's the first name, something personalized, 2 lines down, and then here you can ask 1 or 2 things. You can ask them to send your results, and that has been working really well recently. So yeah, they just say, go on and send it over, right? Or, this is what I taught Enzo when you were in Dubai, you want to give some sort of free value, right? So you could create a short little Loom video, that would be the ideal, like a short little Loom for like 2 to 5 minutes, where again, ideally, if you have a client, you can break down how you help this client go from 1,000 to maybe 10,000 in 2-3 months, right? If you don't have that, then you can just watch one of my YouTube videos or take some away from this seminar on how you can, like 3 hacks or 4 hacks on how you can get an extra 200 subscribers a week to your OnlyFans, right? And then in the so that's the Loom that you create. It's called a lead magnet, right? And then in the message, you say the first name, you say something personalized, and then you say, can you reply to this message with just yes, so I can send over a free video on how we can get you an extra 200 subscribers per week for your OnlyFans, you know, or anything along those lines.
Is that custom, by the way?
No. Otherwise, it would take way too long. Now, by the way, what the video entails and what you teach them is completely up to you. There's a reason, by the way, I don't give like an exact like copy and paste, because then if all of you do it, it doesn't work. But the idea is that you give them something for free that they would want. So maybe a cheat sheet, free hidden hacks, or here's a case study of one of our clients. Let me know if you want it, send it over. And the idea is that they just respond. They just accept your message and then just reply. Yeah? What about yourself, Jack? What do you guys do?
My first,
Yeah.
I don't really do it anymore. I might bring it back at some point, but we basically used to give away like products. So it'd be like a product giveaway, and we would just basically message a load of influencers and say, we're giving away products, do you want them? And then we would actually just base the product based on the person. So like we would know they would say yes. Do you know what I mean?
So we just buy it. So let's get them, bring them in, and then buy a personalised product.
Essentially, yeah. So we'd be giving them free shit for them to get on board. But it was essentially like tailored to the person. So like if all their posts are in like bikinis, we'd offer them like a bikini triangle to make a video with. And then they would say, absolutely, yeah, that sounds great. And you always get a reply with it.
Cool. That's probably for ones that you really want to work with, I'm assuming, right? So like big following, etc. You wouldn't want to do that at scale, but yeah, perfect.
In between like us basically saying we'll give you this, in between that and us actually shipping it, we'd qualify them.
Oh, okay.
And then if like they weren't qualified, we'd be like, sorry, you missed out, you're too late. Or,
So what's that? Was that for a model scout or an actual model itself?
Model scout.
Yeah.
To actually get them on the first place. Cool, wicked. Anybody else want to say something out loud that like, has been working for them for the first message to get them to actually respond? No? Okay, cool. Okay, fuck me then.
I mean, I did give this away, I think it was last week on a call, which is if you really don't have anything to go off, One thing I used to use on my personal that worked really, really well, and I'm sure still works to this day, is just basically like nitpicking something that they're doing wrong, but delivering it in the right way. So don't just pop up and be like, hey, your reels are shit, you need better reels. Pop up and say, hey, oh my God, you know, your pics are great, like the editing is superb. Don't be a creep, but you know, the editing is quality, really, really like what you're doing here, love the aesthetic. I just think you could be getting more views on your reels if you were hitting trends. And then they're like, oh, how do I do that? And then you've got to reply. But just basically, you have to, I call it compliment sandwich. So you give them a compliment, then something that they could work on, not bad, something they could work on, and then something, a compliment again. And then they never take it back.
And that goes for staff members as well, by the way, right? So,
Sandwich every day.
yeah, like that's such a fucking simple idea, but whenever you want to tell somebody, hey, by the way, this is shit, instead of just saying it that way, you're like, hey, by the way, I'm glad that you've done it. However, this is how you could improve it. And I look forward to seeing you next time. You're doing a great job, right? Cool, okay. The next one is the main...
So just quick one on that.
Yeah.
How have you ever tried using voice notes or anything? Because obviously they can't read the message there, would that pique interest if you sent them a voice note?
We know, like... I
It's
think...
not something I've used, I've not used it with you, but I'm just thinking out loud. Is that something that would, because obviously they can't see a line then, can they?
The only thing is it's not very scalable. We have tried to pre-record, well, I've pre-recorded a voice note. This is before, this is when Langello was on our team, right? Before yourself. Actually, no, he was at the same time with Langello, right? Yeah.
There's a video.
Yeah.
Just obviously when you send a voice note, it just pops up as like a bar, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
really interesting to open.
So we tried it with Langello where I pre-recorded a voice note, and then he would have two phones or like his computer's like speaker, and he would play the voice note on his computer whilst recording the voice note on his phone. So it's like I'm sending it. But it just, it's a bit of a fucking faff, to be fair. It wasn't worth it. You just reminded me one thing, however. We have pre-recorded selfie videos that we send in the DMs, but not as an opening first message. It's only after in the DMs. So, for example, I have my laptop open. Yeah, I'm sitting in my office, and I'm literally like selfie cam. Actually, no, I physically turn the phone around, right? I'm physically holding the phone wrong way around, so the camera's pointing towards me. And there's 3 videos, if I remember correctly. And it's basically like, hey, so I thought I'd just record a video. It's a bit quicker and easier to explain. And then I flip my phone, and then I show them the laptop screen. And again, if you guys have results, then obviously leverage that, and then we just show the results. So we're like, here's a model that we took from this much to this much, and then I flip the phone, and like, here's what we done. In this video, I'll explain this, send. Then the next video, okay, this is part 2. This is what we done with marketing, send. And then the third one, right? And each video is like, well, basically there's 2. We cover about marketing and chatting, kind of like very briefly what we've done differently, right? And try to think of something, and also, by the way, this is just sales in general. You don't have to say exactly physically what you've done, but you can just kind of like make it a bit mysterious for her to want to find out, right? So for example, if instead, like this is the wrong way, right? Which is what everybody would do. If you said, yeah, and with the chatting, we have 3 chatters, and they do 8-hour shifts each, so we're actually able to do 24/7 messages, right? It's like, I think most of them will probably know that. It doesn't sound exciting. It's like, it is what it is, whatever, right? Instead, you could be, let me just literally think of it on the spot. Something along the lines of, and with chatting, we do something that nobody does. We actually have a highly trained team that works around the clock, but they do something very, very different to everybody else. I'd love to tell you on a call. Something along those lines, right? So now she's like, what the fuck is it? Well, highly trained team, like what? They're actually Filipino chatters, but these agents from the Philippines, right? So anyway, you guys get that, right? So this is just sales in general. Always try and create a bit of mystery / like piquing their curiosity. Because if you just tell them what it is, it's like, they're like, well, why should they jump on a call with you now, right? Also, about outreach and appointment setting in general, make sure you guys are tracking everything, right? What do I mean by that? So you need to track, in very, very, very simple terms, a Google Sheet, how many messages sent, how many opens, how many responses on a daily basis. Track that, and then you calculate that per week. And here's the thing, boys. Every 2 to 4 weeks, you can split test the first message, right? So if you just send the same message for 2-3 months, well, you're going to get the same responses, aren't you? Like, or the same response rate. But if you start testing things, that's when you're going to start to get a different response rate, right? And there's no way how you can actually gauge whether it's working or not is if you're not tracking it, yeah? So make sure you have a Google Sheet where you're tracking each 2 to 4 weeks, okay? Make sense?
With that video message,
Yeah.
could you just send it straight off the bat after they've replied? So it'd be like, you send your first outreach message, they go, hey, that's it, and then you just send the video message.
Correct. However, I would first send because we have 3 videos and it's quite a lot. Each video is 59 seconds, right? That's 3 minutes. That's quite a long time. So before we do that, we actually have quite a bit of a convo with them. Yeah. So we don't do it straight away because, again, another very, very important lesson for all of you guys is remember when I said like there's like a conveyor belt, right? At the beginning, on like this side, they don't know who you are, they don't trust you, they don't like you, right? So why on earth would they go out of their way to spend 3 minutes listening or watching you? They don't know who you are, so they could be a waste of time, right? So that's why, you need to build that bit of rapport and give credibility, maybe send just a screenshot of a result or something, and then you can send those videos, yeah. Also, by the way, those videos, we don't send every time. It's only if they're like proper asking loads of questions, yeah? Or they're unsure about jumping on a call, cool? Okay, how to massively increase reply rate. This is the fucking deal breaker. So, the obvious, after you send the message, go back onto the profile, go onto their highlights, if they have them, which most of them do. Like it, next, like it, next, like it, next. Do like 3-4 likes on their highlights. Then go to one of their posts, not their most recent one, go to a random one, like about 2 weeks ago or something, right? Or a week ago, depending on how much they post. Ideally, one with their face in it, yeah? And then just leave a comment. I mean, to be honest, there is no like ideal comment. We literally just say, check your DMs, we sent a business inquiry. Like it literally is just that.
So would you do that on the actual post?
Yeah, on our post.
So I was having this thought yesterday. We potentially like on track on getting another model, but she hasn't seen the first. Well, she has seen it, just not bothered with it, but she hasn't responded, and we want her to respond. So I was just thinking, do I just say check? But I didn't know if that's a bit too ego or if that.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
just do that. It's fine.
Sweet.
Comments on.
Yeah, sweet. All right, that's sweet.
But there's a reason why we don't do the recent post, by the way, because again, this is so like you guys need to think about all of this in a very meticulous way, right? You think from her point of view, she's opened up her Instagram, she goes onto her notifications, and you guys know when like on the notifications, on the right side of the notification, it says the post or like it shows the post. All of the notifications will be her recent, right? And then the one that you have commented on stands out because it's like from 2 weeks ago. That makes sense? Yeah? Cool. So that's the first thing. So most of you guys, you guys have to do that, right? Super, super important. The next is a story tag. So I've gone over this before on like a group coaching call. So now there's actually a recent update, I think only like a month ago actually on Instagram. So you can post an Instagram story and then like an hour later or whenever, you can go back onto the settings of that story and you can tag people. So you can either do it this way, or you can just tag them in the first place. So whenever you're posting a story about your results, etc., you can actually tag up to 20 girls in that story. And if you're doing it from the first place, then just slide that text off of the screen. So the girl gets tagged in a story, but nobody can see how many girls you tagged. Yeah? Or you just add them afterwards in the mention. And this is huge, because every day you can do up to 20. You can do both. You can do one on your main and you can do one on close friends. So actually every day you can do 40. You make sure you obviously add them to your close friends, otherwise it doesn't work. And it can be different stories every day, just any results, testimonial, etc. Ideally, in an ideal world, if it's a screenshot of OnlyFans earnings, that's going to work the best. Cool? Cool. Anything else, Jack, about increasing reply rate?
Yeah, I mean, a bit of advice for people using their personal pages. Just going, like I said, back to when I used to do outreach at first, because I don't have a big Instagram account. If you look at my Instagram, it is relatively small. But I used to use the close friends story when it first came out. And I used to just, if I'd message somebody, I'd add them to my close friends as well. Like when you follow them, just add them to close friends automatically. And then every day I was just posting results on that story.
Yeah.
So, because the reason why, again, it's just psychology, they'll see your message request, and if they're semi-interested, they're going to click on your profile next. It's the automatic next move. Like, everybody does that. If you DM me, I'm going to go on my message request, I'm going to click on it, click on your profile, click on your story if you've got story. So I just post loads of stuff on my close friends that would make me seem genuine. Like, that was the only thing I was aiming for, like genuine trust. They can watch my close friends and they'll have a little bit of my personality, a little bit of the work I do, and that was it.
Just say make it a bit personal as well, like.
Yeah, but the other thing that I used to really do as well is, obviously, because I didn't have much leverage, I used to basically make as many touch points with them as possible. So it'd be like, maybe I'd follow them and I wouldn't message them for a day or two. Do you know what I mean? And I would just have, so they might see my name pop up multiple times within a space of a week, and then suddenly I DM them, and they've seen my name 3 times that week because I like to post, I followed them, might have commented a flame emoji on a reel or some bullshit, and then they just recognise my name.
Yep.
So when I DM them, they have an idea of who I am. I'm not just random.
Also, ideally, don't change your profile pictures. Just keep one forever. Yeah. So that goes to what you were just saying there. It's recognizable. And again, if you just have a black profile picture, then it's not going to be very recognizable, right?
Especially if you're verified as well. Like, I used to get rinsed for being verified with like 2K followers, but it obviously worked.
Yeah.
Because they see the tick and then they remember the name.
100%. Love that. Also, another thing, another key lesson, right? And this again goes for everything, marketing, sales, everything in general in life. Jack just mentioned there is like, he said, even I, as in him, whenever somebody messages him or he sees a story, he'll click into the profile to just like have a look who the person is, right? Most of us, we all do that, right? So this lesson here is always self-analyze what you do on a daily basis. Is there an advert you listened to or heard that piqued your interest? If there was, why? If you liked a reel, like when you're scrolling, like let's just say you're scrolling, but something piques your curiosity and stops you from scrolling, self-analyze. Why did that just make me stop scrolling? Make sense? If you were buying a coffee, but somebody upsold you some, I don't know, cakes or whatever, okay, what did he or she say for me to go, actually, do you know what? Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Maybe they said it's a limited time. This is a brand new one. People loved it. It was nearly sold out on this. Do you want it? It's warm, right? So self-analyze everything. It's so important. Cool, okay. How to actually get models on a call. Again, we kind of covered that already. Super simple. Make sure you just get them on a call there and then. Like as simple as it gets, right? If they're messaging you there and then, they're obviously interested, then get them on a call. I mean, there's not too much to say about getting them on a call. The only other thing I can mention about here is if you do have to book them a day in advance or 2 days in advance, make sure you obviously do have set up Calendly with reminders on emails and text messages, which is like the basic. The more important stuff is you yourself manually, until you hire somebody, you yourself manually have to send them something in the DMs and keep talking to them back and forth. Send them a result, send them a testimonial, send them a voice note. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was just going to say, I always give them something to think about before the call. So like they have to try and come up with a so-and-so idea before they come onto the call, because then they want to come onto the call because they've spent time thinking of an idea, and then they want to tell you the idea.
Love that.
Yeah. And they actually always try it. They always say, oh, can I just tell you now? I've got an idea. Wait for the call. Because then you're guaranteed they will show up on the call.
Sick.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, and in between today and the time of the call, make sure you're talking to them back and forth. And if you don't have any results or testimonials, you can send voice notes of you giving advice on what she can improve on already, right? So for example, let's say you just booked a call for in 2 days, and she has a link tree in her bio, which means that you have to obviously click and then prove that you're 18, and it's an extra click, right? Quick voice note. Let's just say this is the next, so let's just say today's Saturday? Sunday? Saturday. Today's Saturday, let's just say you booked it for Monday, right? So tomorrow, Sunday, I'll send her a voice note. Hey, by the way, Chloe, just before I let you know, I was just doing a quick breakdown on having a look at your funnel, and I just noticed that you have a link tree in your bio. I don't know if you know, but it actually is ruining your conversion massively because I have to click, yes, I'm 18 and over, and most people don't click that. They'll just click off of it because they can't be bothered. Just one switch here can improve your conversions by 20-25%. Just thought I'd let you know. But anyway, looking forward to the call tomorrow at 4 p.m. Done. Just that, right? And by the way, if you send that at like 12 p.m. and she hasn't seen it the whole day, make sure you follow up with her like that same day. Hey, by the way, Chloe, just making sure you listen to the voice note that I sent earlier. Also double checking you're still available tomorrow.
So is that genuinely like, does the LinkedIn, like, is that generally just deter people away from the actual page? Do you just prefer to keep it a straight link?
Say again, bro.
So, you know, when you're saying about the...
Linktree?
Yeah, Linktree, sorry.
Yeah.
Does that actually deter a lot of, like, substance?
Massively, bro. Like Linktree specifically. Don't obviously put the OnlyFans link in the bio, but you can have like beacons, for example, and it'll automatically redirect people to OnlyFans.
Direct links.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
soon as
yeah.
they click on it, it goes straight to
Cool.
page.
Yeah.
All right, yes.
Whereas Linktree, right, they have to click on it, and then they have to approve that they're 18, click yes, it's sensitive content, yes. Then it takes like 30 seconds to load. No one's doing that. Yeah. Well, no, people are doing that, but like, think how many people aren't, right? A lot, bro, a lot. Anyway, so that's how you actually get them to show up on a call, right? Making sure that you're speaking to them, you're providing them some value, and if you're providing them with some value before you even have the call, they're already going to be like, oh my God, this is so great. Oh, also, one more thing, super fucking important. I just remembered because I actually just got my team to do it today. It's when you're talking to them, if they're not available right now and they genuinely have to do it tomorrow, because like that will happen, right? Make sure you get their phone number. Make sure. Very fucking important, right? Because even if you book a Zoom call, it doesn't matter, Skype call, whatever, right? Make sure you still get their phone number, because phone number is by far the easiest way to follow up with them, right? They're always going to see their text message and they're always going to have a phone call come through. Even I think if it's on Do Not Disturb, if you call twice or 3 times, it'll still go through, I think. Yeah.
I had a potential client. She had quite a good following on TikTok, and it was a referral from my existing client. And we got a call booked in, but then she decided the day before that she don't know if she was ready for it. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of left it at that. Should I have still gone on with the call and had a chat with her, or do you think it's best that I just left it?
That she wasn't ready with OnlyFans, or?
Yeah, she said she's not too sure if she's in the right headspace for it at the time. So you can't make them do it.
Again, this is just like personal, but I recommend to all of you guys. I mean, not even just for like liability's sake, but also just save you a load of time. Don't bother trying to convince a girl if she's in 2 minds about doing OF or not. One, obviously, because it genuinely is such a big decision for the girl, like long term, right? But genuinely, if you're just thinking for yourself, also, somebody said, I think it was them guys over there, you guys signed a client, but they left after like a week, or she stopped doing OnlyFans after a week? I think somebody here. Oh, it was you guys, yeah? You guys, sorry, yeah. Right? And that will happen a lot with girls who just recently start OnlyFans. Because they're still in 2 minds, do I want to do it? They're getting a load of backlash from friends and family, and they don't make that much money, and they're like, oh, do you know what, fuck it. Compared to a girl that's been doing it for 2 years, she's already gone through that, and she's already making 5, 10K a month, and she's like, all right, fuck it, I'm done, yeah? Cool. The next one is the actual sales call, or the interview, however you guys want to call it. This is the call that you jump on with the actual girl itself, yeah? Really and truly, there is no like magical fucking thing. It's just sales, and sales comes down to breaking the ice. Like this is the flow, right? Break the ice. Hey, yeah, I see your background, where are you from, blah, blah, whatever, right? In an ideal world, if you've done a bit of research, literally 30 seconds before the Zoom call, if you go on her profile and she's posted a story that she went, I don't know, fucking pumpkin picking yesterday, talk about that, right? Oh, I saw you, how was yesterday? I saw this and that, right? So cool, have a little bit of small talk, etc. You then want to say, cool, well, we can jump into the call, how this call typically goes, so you take control of the meeting, right? So how this call typically is going to go, just really laid back. I just want to learn more about your OnlyFans journey. Where are you at right now, the good and the bad? And then if I feel like you're a good fit for us to partner with, I'll then explain exactly how our services work, but more importantly, what makes us different, right? She'll be like, all right, cool. And then you go, okay, so tell me, when did you start OnlyFans? Like a very open-ended question, and typically that will go on for like 5-10 minutes, and she'll tell you everything, right? Make sure you're taking notes. Please, not as in like right now, as in on the Zoom call, yeah? Make sure you're taking notes about everything. People love it. Like the thing about sales is people will buy when they feel like they're understood, right? So like the easiest analogy is if you guys go into a doctor's office and you guys have a fucking, I don't know, like a headache, right? And the doctor's like, yeah, so how's your day been? You say, yeah, I've been better, whatever. And he's like, right, here's the fucking tablets for your joints. I was like, what the fuck? Didn't even ask me why, where it's hurting, how long for, how have I got this pain, etc. Right? He hasn't assessed where you're at. And the reason why you wouldn't buy it is because, well, he doesn't even know what's wrong with you, right, in the first place. So how is he going to be able to prescribe you with the solution, yeah? So these sales calls are the same thing. If the girl feels like you just kind of rushed it and you don't actually even feel like you understand where she is at and what's going good or bad, she's going to be like, all right, let me think about it, right? So first part is break the ice, then take control of the meeting by saying, this is how the call is going to go. And then the third one is a very open-ended question, which is, tell me, right? And then she'll go on and on and on. After she's gone on and on and on, you've taken notes, you want to dive a little bit deeper on the first part, which is our current state. Current state meaning the good and the bad. What's going good and what's going fucking bad. What's going bad, you want to dig deeper on. So what have you tried? How long has that been for? How many agencies have you done? Oh, why did that happen? So how many times have you guys jumped on a call and the girl's been like, oh yeah, the previous agency was shit. Okay, but like, why? What happened? Why were they shit? Here's a fucking interesting one. What do you think they could have done differently for it to be a better experience for you? That question is so golden, right? Because you are literally getting her to tell you what you need to say to her. Like, actually deep how crazy that is, right? So what do you think they could have done differently for it to be a better experience for you? Yeah? And then she'll be like, well, I wish they just replied to me a lot faster. I wish they just done this. I wish they just done that. Or I wish they didn't do this, right? I wish their chatters could actually speak English. Or I wish I had somebody that I could speak to that wasn't straight the chatters and I could easily conversate with them, right? Or I wish they didn't sell so many customs because my whole day, every day, was just filled with creating customs, yeah? So that question there is super key. So you ask them, what do you think they could have done differently for it to be a better experience? So that's their current state. So that's what you want to figure out, right? Then you want to figure out their desired state, right? And really and truly, it's pretty simple. I mean, where do you feel like you should be at right now in terms of earnings? Like that's what I asked, right? Where do you feel like you should be at right now with your earnings? Oh, I feel like I should be at least at 10K, right? Or you want to ask, I mean, do you mind me just asking like yourself, how much money roughly would you need to be making to be, financially free and live the life that you actually want to do?
What do you say when they ask you for numbers?
As in like for our own agency?
No, when they say like, oh, well, how much I'll be making in 3 months?
Okay, good. So that typically will come at the end. I'll get to that in just a second, bro. Yeah. So the first two parts is figuring out their current state, then where they want to get to. But yeah, I'll get to that in just a sec. And where they want to get to is pretty straightforward. They're like, oh, honestly, if I'm just making 10K a month, I'm happy. Some girls will say 100K, cool. If they say a small number, like I just want to make $2,000 a month, actually make them think bigger. Be like Chloe, what do you mean 2K? What are we doing here? Like, do you not want to make 10K? Yeah, I would, but, well, look, again, if you have it, here's a client of ours doing this much. If you don't have it, that's fine. Still make them think bigger. Now, don't say, I can definitely help you get there, right? Or I guarantee. Don't ever say these things. Don't ever say, I guarantee, or I can do it in the next month, or don't set yourself wrong expectations. Even though you physically could, don't ever say that, right? So anyway, yeah, if they say a small goal, you want to say, hey, why don't we just think bigger, okay? Cool, so you've broken the ice, you've taken control of the meeting, you figured out where she is right now, the good and the bad, most of the bad, so what went bad, how they could have improved, etc., what she's tried to fix it, how long has she been doing that for, etc. Now you figured out where she wants to get to, 10K a month. Like, all right, cool. Well, and this, by the way, this is the fucking key here, right? You tell her back everything that she's just told you in like neat bullet points, right? So Chloe, cool, I think that's pretty much all the questions that I've got. So correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm understanding is you started OnlyFans about 2 years ago, and then you go through the whole thing. You started about 2 years ago, you've not had the greatest of experiences with other agencies, don't worry, we hear this all the time. Your previous agency was about 6 months ago, and unfortunately the ratios were pretty bad. I mean, you started off at 15K, by the end of the partnership with that agency, you was only making $2,000, so they fucked up on the chatting. They had horrible like chatters. They weren't speaking English properly. You lost loads of subscribers, and also they weren't helping you with content. And where you'd want to be by summer next year is at least $10,000 a month yourself, not the account, yourself in your pocket, and you want to be traveling. Does that sound about right? Oh my God, like this is it, like yes, right? If you hear somebody say this, you've got the sale. I swear to God it is that simple. Like, obviously the service delivery is very important, that you're going to talk about in a second, but that in itself, that is sales, right? Once they feel like they are understood, they feel so safe. They feel, all right, finally somebody genuinely gets me, right? Does that make sense, guys? Because that is honestly the most important part of sales, yeah? Okay, cool. She's gonna go, yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, that is exactly where I'm at. Thank you, yeah. So what do you do, right? Or she's gonna go, like, so what can I expect? Or she's gonna have loads of questions, right? By the way, if she doesn't have questions, cool, well, are you ready to get started? Like, in some cases, you genuinely can. If you have built enough rapport and you've sent her enough results, testimonials and results, you can just get her to sign up there and then, right? But in most cases, she's gonna ask you like, so what do you do for chatting? What kind of chatters? What do you do? This, right? Now, in most cases, that's where you go into explaining a bit about your service. Now, the wrong thing to do is to go into all of the nitty gritty of we have chatters from here and they go through this training course and they're fully qualified and they go through this and we have this system and they don't really give a fuck about it. They do, but they don't want to hear it. Does that make sense? They do care about these things, but they would much rather just hear the very, very simplified version on what's going to happen for her. Make sense? She is interested in what goes on behind the scenes, but she doesn't want to hear it. Genuinely, it's so funny. So instead, you just want to talk about how, look, in very simple terms, we're going to take care of your OnlyFans account. You don't even need to log into it. You'll always have access to it. We're never going to change the password. But in very simple terms, we'll take care of the whole thing. We'll post for you. We'll respond to all the messages. We'll organize your vault. We'll organize the actual subs, and so on, right? We're going to make sure that your subs are not only responded to within time, but they also genuinely feel like they're building a real nice connection with you. Now, here's the key as well. Whatever she said went really bad on the previous agency, that's where you're now selling these things in your pitch. So let's just say an example. Her previous agency, they were just too salesy, they were too pushy, right? And they were losing subscribers. And also, they didn't really sound like her. Like, they were using far too many emojis and they had spelling mistakes, etc. That's her previous agency, let's just say, yeah? Now in your pitch, you're gonna say, and not only we're going to respond to your subscribers, in time, we're also going to make sure that we're actually building that relationship with them. They actually feel like they're understood, and therefore they can actually subscribe for months in, months out, rather than just churning the subscriber and then leaving and never coming back. Yeah. Basically, whatever she said was going bad, now you input, because she's giving you the ammunition, right? You now input it in your pitch, and you now explain how and why you're going to fix this thing. Yeah. Oh, shit. And that goes on for chatting and the marketing. Now, to answer your question, bro, about numbers, because inevitably they typically do, right? Also, by the way, you can actually avoid it by just kind of going through the pitch and then just trying to close them, right? And if you speak with authority and you speak with, authority, right? Sometimes they won't even ask. A lot of the times we genuinely don't get that, right? But if they do ask, you don't ever want to say like, yeah, so you're at 10K right now. Next month, we're definitely going to get you to 20K, or just avoid that. So you can say, look, I don't ever guarantee earnings because there are so many factors that will be involved. And then, for example, if she has recently had a TikTok shadow ban, or she said something, then you can use that as a reason why. So look, I think, and also by the way, on the marketing side, so we're gonna have a break in just a minute. I know some of you guys are getting tired. So. After break, when we come back and we're talking about marketing, the way we do it is there's like a 4 to 6 week testing phase on figuring out what works and what doesn't. So I use that in my pitch. So I say, and look, like within the first month, look, you will have your earnings increase. Like you can say that. There's no way. And by the way, if you don't increase your earnings in the first month, she's definitely going to leave. So you might as well just say that, right? But you don't say by how much. You don't say we're going to double your earnings, we're going to triple, quadruple your earnings, right? So you tell them what you will do but you don't say like, we will double your earnings, etc. Does that make sense? Yeah? Sales call. Pretty much that's honestly it. So break the ice, take control of the meeting, current point, where you want to get to. Okay, well, I think we can help you get there. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's the marketing, here's the chatting, here's what we do different. Make sure we record all of these calls and you watch them back, right? Put your hand up if you guys have watched back any of your own sales calls. Yeah, that you have. Bro, like, I still do it now. I genuinely still do it now. Not every day, but I still do it, right? Like, that's the only way how you're going to improve. Think about the best of anything. Like, of anything. Sports, actors, podcasters, like fucking anybody, they all watch back their own games or performances or whatever, and they self-analyze. I'm probably going to watch this back and be like, right, maybe I could have shortened the fucking beginning part and gone with it quicker, right? So always make sure you watch it back. Because when you watch it back, you're going to be like, why the fuck did I say that? Or why didn't I say this, right? How many times has that happened to me and you, right? So cool. So that's sales calls. I'm going to fly through this because I want to go on a break as well. What to do after the sales call. So if you can, there and then, in most cases you won't, but if you can, there and then, send her the contract, get her to read it, sign it, boom. You can start onboarding. In most cases, she has to speak to our current agency or some bullshit. And then you just simply follow up with her. You make sure you have a follow-up call booked for the next day, or at least something scheduled for the next day. Don't just end the call and be like, well, I'll hear from you soon then. Like, don't do that. If she says I have to speak to my current agency, okay, when? Can you do it today? No, tomorrow? Why? Can you do it today? Yeah? Okay, cool. Why does she have to do it tomorrow, right? So again, that urgency, right? But not too pushy. Yeah, cool, makes sense? That's what you do after the call. Make sure you're still sending results. Even today, on my way to here in an Uber, I sent a bunch of screen recordings and testimonials and results to different clients who I've done a call with. They're happy, but they haven't yet signed the contract, right? So instead of just a message of, hey, have you had a chance to read the contract? Any updates? Are you still interested? Like one of our new appointment setters, he literally sent a message, hey, just checking up, making sure you're still interested. I unsent it straight away because, and this is what I said to him, is you always want to assume that they are interested and they are certain that they're going to sign up. They just got a bit busy. And by the way, in most cases, that actually is it. You don't want to say, are you still interested? It's like, what professional is going to say that? You guys don't say that. Cool? Onboarding. Shit. Onboarding is quite big, to be fair. In very simple terms, you want to have a Loom video that explains the next steps, right? On the Loom video and the onboarding, you want to explain where they can talk to you, how often, what are the next steps. So each one of you will have a different onboarding session or system. Yeah, the main one is communication. So where can they talk to you, how often, when, where, yeah, and what are the next steps? So for us, they have to fill out a model information sheet. There's about 200 questions. So we send that to our chatters so they really can sound like her. There is then obviously the content, the sexting scripts. We explain on the Loom what is the sexting script, how to create it, where to upload it, how to organize it. And then we book in the actual onboarding call. And in the onboarding call, we then explain the marketing system, which we'll explain after the break. Cool. Any questions about the onboarding? Make sure, yeah, go ahead, bro.
I think on the course, you said sign them on your hers or something on the call.
Sign them on the call, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, if you can. Just in most cases, they already are with an agency. So they'll be like, oh, I need to let my current agency know, yeah? In that case as well, by the way, just ask, by the way, did you sign a contract? No? Well, do you have access to everything? Like just change the password, cool. You know? But obviously, by the way, context. Make sure she does actually pay any outstanding invoices. You don't want her to fuck up her previous agency because then it would ruin your life because they will probably go out of their way to like ban her Instagram or something, right? Stop, there's no point. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's just going to be...
Right, there you go. Yeah, so it's already a red flag, right? She's done it to somebody else. Hey, listen, bro. Hey, listen, bro.
No, she had to pay the other agency like $1,000. I was like, what the fuck? Then the other agency disabled her IG, like fucking weird. And then after like 2 weeks, I sent her like an invoice of like 3K or something. Boom, blocked.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. So, okay, and then the last one is inbound lead system, right? So, believe it or not, we actually have a Facebook group with about 50,000 people. We haven't like said this to anybody or showed it anywhere ever. I'm pretty sure if all of you guys wanted to on a break, just go on Facebook and search OnlyFans Marketing, I think, something along those lines. It will come up. There's about 50,000 people. And every single day, we get anywhere from 20 to about 80 people request to join the group. It's like a private group, aka like they can see it, but they have to request to join. And when you request to join it, you have to answer some questions, right? We basically ask like, are you an agency owner or are you a model, right? And they have to tick. Then they have to answer like, tell us a little bit about you, where are you at, either your agency or your account. And then we ask for their contact details, so their phone number and their email address, right? There's no other way to get in a group, by the way. You have to answer these things, okay? So that means, and by the way, when I say we're getting like 20 to about 80 a day, like 75 to 80% of them are like just weirdos, like pointless leads, right? But there is the odd girl, like for example, let me see if I have it on my phone. Actually, yeah, hold on. Okay, so already today, there's been one new one. Let me go in here. So this is, as you can see, look, member request, 121, 14 hours ago. So look, as you can see, most of them are like shit, but let's see if we can find a model. Thomas, Kristen, hello girl. I mean, to be honest, like, look, like if you really wanted to, here's one. Charlotte Lilly. UK, what's your goal? I mean, to be honest, it says OFM agency. 20K per month, yes, I agree, whatever. Probably another one, right? That's definitely fake. Okay, here's one. Cool. See? So obviously, in my instance, to be honest, we need to change it, but it says, what's the goal with your OFM agency? I could have swore it was different, but anyway. So you guys would obviously have it saying about your OnlyFans account in itself, right? But these come in near enough on a daily basis, and it's insane. So the way you do it is you basically start a Facebook group. You start a Facebook group, and there's two ways to do it. You can either buy members. You can actually do that, like you can bot the members. So just Google it. There's loads of websites that do that. I actually didn't do that. This group is like 4 years old. So I manually went onto other groups and just manually messaged people and just asked them to join my group. And how Facebook works is, or at least the group section, it's kind of like SEO. So if the group has all the SEO keywords, such as OnlyFans, marketing, chatting, sales, scaling, all these words in the group name, then other girls will find that group in just the Facebook search place, right? And then they'll click join. And you just had an inbound lead. Think how insane that is, right? And then in the group, you can be posting your videos, your testimonials, your results, etc., 24/7. And then once you accept them, they're in your group, and then all of a sudden you can nurture them, etc., right? Now this, what I just showed you there, is a very fucking long-term play. This is not gonna get you 10 clients a day today. It will in a year or two. Does that make sense? It's insane. Like, we have never shared that anywhere else. So yeah, so that's how the Facebook group works. YouTube funnel is pretty straightforward. So YouTube videos are insane. I think a lot of you guys, maybe perhaps you don't want to show your face, but how much money do you want to make? You know, like, it's up to you. So my recommendation is to go all in, is to start creating YouTube videos. And you just want to, if you don't know what about, then ask your clients. Hey, by the way, what questions do you have about OnlyFans? Or what questions did you have when you were starting out? Or you just go on Google and you search, like, on Reddit, you can search other forums where these girls are asking questions. Or you just go on the YouTube search engine, you can search what other people are searching. Yeah.
So obviously, I don't know how true it is, but recently I've seen like, apparently there's like a TikTok ban coming into the US. I don't know if that's a thing. But
Well, Trump was talking about it, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously with that, obviously it just brings a lot of attention back to the YouTube as well. So obviously, I suppose it would be a good time to do that anyways.
Probably be more like that. The people that, so here's the thing, right? I personal opinion, but I think people that consume short form, they just consume short form. It's very rare, not very rare, but like overall people just like to binge watch and scroll. And typically they are not the same people that watch long form videos, in most cases. There is like, I think most of us probably do both. But in most cases, people like to just do that. So they'll probably go onto Instagram. But I doubt it'll get banned anyway. I really doubt it. What they'll do is TikTok will just open up another headquarters in the US and call it something else, but it's actually just TikTok, and it'll still be a thing. But yeah, okay, and then YouTube. We're posting YouTube videos twice a week, every single week. By the way, once we get to the Q&A section at the very end, we can talk more about the personal branding and content. But yeah, we post 2 YouTube videos every single week, every Tuesday and Thursday, the same as the group coaching calls. And then we have a link in the bio. To be honest, like 90% of the videos that we do is for the coaching, but we still get models from it. And we do model interviews. Like these are the videos for the models, by the way. We do model interviews. We do videos that the models would want to search. So here's how we help the model go from $400 a day to $10,000 a day. That's literally one of our videos, right? Here's free tips to improve your chatting. Here's free tips to improve your marketing. Here's how you get more subs for your OnlyFans in 2025, right? All these video ideas. And the incredible thing with YouTube is you guys can create a YouTube video today and it can get you clients for the next year. TikTok can't do that, Instagram Reels can't do that, Twitter can't do that. Cool? Okay.